Where were you born and in what year?
I was born in 1925 and I was born at home in Railstown.
Tell me about your family. What did your parents do?
My father was a ganger on the road. You know, he used to work for the, what they call a ganger. But he'd be over the men that was Virgin and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And your mother?
My mother, the Lord mercy, died at 49. Well, at that time they didn't know what was wrong with her. But knowing what I know now, I think she had cancer.
What did most adults do in the area?
My brothers, they worked at the farm. There was a very big farmer that lived near us, and he gave great employment to all the men and young fellas around there. He had about 600 acres of land. His name was Paddy Quinn.
What did he do, that farmer?
Oh, sure, everything. He had cows and tillage and everything.
How big was your family?
My family?
Yeah.
There was 11 of us alive. And I'm the last one standing.
What kind of house did you live in? Was it big?
It was big enough, I suppose. There was 4 bedrooms anyway, and a kitchen and another room downstairs.
Did you have running water? Did you have running water?
Indeed, we didn't. I used to have to go to the well for the water.
What are your earliest childhood memories?
I remember going to school at 4 and we had to walk 1.5 miles to school in rain, hail or snow. No buses them days.
What did you and your friends do to entertain yourselves as children?
There were 2 lads that lived up the road from it. Jack and Mick Corkin was their names. And we played with them. You know, we had fun. In those days we had fun. I remember on an Easter Sunday morning, we'd be vying with each other to know which of us would eat the more eggs. And we'd push them across the road, the eggshells. You know, that was the way we had to count it. How many they had, how many we had.
Did you amuse yourself in different ways in the different seasons?
Yeah, in the winter time we played Ludo one. The lads, 2 lads had come down. One of them was the same age as myself and the other fellow was slightly young. And we had fun playing skittles and we used to fight like hell.
What games or things did you do that you don't see children playing nowadays?
We had a wheel of a bicycle and a piece of a stick, and we would start that and we'd be running races. You know, we'd be hitting the
wheels and yeah.
And what else we used to be the Tory top, as we used to call it. You know, the spinning top.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd have that up and down the road because, of course, needless to say, you wouldn't see a motor car from one end of the year to the other.
Is your school still open now?
Well, there is a school there, but it isn't the same school that I went to.
What would happen if you misbehaved in school?
Well, we had a school mistress and Mrs. Keegan. She was very nice, but she had a husband who was also a school teacher. And if she wasn't well, he'd come in. And he was a savage. You couldn't call him anything else. Savage.
How did they heat the school back then?
As I tell you, we had to bring in 1 and 6pence in every year. Every child had to bring it to buy the turf or whatever they'd have to get for the fire. And when that money would be out, then we were perished. And we had to stand outside. We weren't even allowed to, we used to bring a bottle of milk to school with us. And we wouldn't be allowed to be inside in the school. If it was snowing, we had to drink that outside at lunchtime.
What were your favourite subjects?
Everything. I was good at school.
When did you leave school?
I left school when I was 2 years in 7th class, because you couldn't go past 7th class. You know what I mean?
Was it 14 or 13 or 14? 14, yeah.
Yeah. And there was no such thing as going to a secondary school then, because we had no transport or no way of going.
What kind of food did you eat?
Well, the usual spuds and bacon and cabbage and the usual.
What was your favourite meal?
Well, I always liked potatoes and cabbage and bacon.
Was the food always fresh?
It was. It was, because it was brought in out of the garden, and they used to kill a pig at home. So we always had home pure bacon, lovely and fat. There was no such thing as buying bread. My mother had lots of us now. She baked the bread.
Did you eat certain foods on special occasions?
Well, at Christmas, you know, there was always a goose for Christmas dinner. Very few people had turkey.
What did you do after you left school?
I worked at the hospital for 2 years, and that's all I ever worked.
Did you always do the same job, or did you change over life?
I got married. And in those days, when you went out of a job, when you got married, you had to give up your job.
Did you wear different kinds of clothes for different occasions?
Oh, there was always Sunday clothes. There was always Sunday clothes.
Did you buy your clothes or did your mother make them?
My mother and father that bought it.
How did you get around?
Well, you see, when I got my bicycle, we'd go off on a Sunday afternoon. I had a younger sister.
Did you ever go to the seaside?
Yes. They used to bus go on the 15th of August. And we used to go on that to Tramore. That was our one day out in the year.
How did you find out about things that were happening in Ireland and the world when you were young?
We had newspapers, but you wouldn't get a newspaper every day, only maybe once in a month. Whenever someone would be in town, they'd buy a newspaper.
Can you remember any traditions or culture from back then?
Well, I had to learn to cook, because when I left school, I was the mother at home, and I had 4 brothers to look after. and my father had to learn to bake bread and do housework.
So when your mother died, you were still only in school when she passed away?
I was only 11
Oh God. Okay.
and my sister was 9.
Right.
Did you ever listen to the radio?
Yeah.
Did you have a radio in your house?
Oh, we did. We did. It was, I'll always remember that fella, Lord Ho Ho. We used to be listening to Lord Ho Ho.
Did the radio
He
cost
was
a
a
lot?
German. At least he was an Irishman. But he was always button up Germany.
Oh right. What, do you remember the war? Do you remember the emergency? Yeah.
No, indeed I do. And
Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like here during the
we
emergency?
had rations. We got ration books. And we got an ounce of tea for the week. And we got 4 ounces of butter for the week. And if you were a smoker in those days, you got a packet of woodbines, the cheapest things on the market. I think it was five woodbines you could get. And they could charge whatever they liked for. Because people were,
Yeah.
there were smokers,
Yeah.
would pay anything for them.
Yeah.
First time I saw a motor car, well, my God, it was like seeing the Pope. What was that Mr. Quinn of Kilbray? He had one of them big square motor cars, I don't know what they're called, Ford.
Oh yeah.
And people would run out of the house and they'd hear him, you know.
Nice.
Do you remember any famous people when you were young?
Well, of course, I knew about Dan Bryan, and my uncle. He did 98 days hunger strike in the jail in Cork. That was my father's brother.
Why did he go to jail in the first place?
I'm sure that was the time of the Black and Tans, or whatever they were.
Was he alone in the hunger strike?
No, indeed, there were loads of them there. They went to the Irish Army then.
This is a big question, but how do you think Cashel has changed over the years?
Completely. Changed every way. People aren't as friendly. I go downtown now and I could meet 40 people at the street and I wouldn't know one of them. There's an awful lot of between foreigners and strangers into the place.
Have these changes been better or worse?
Worse.
How so?
Cashel has gone to the bed. There's nothing in there. Nothing. And you just think of it, there's nothing for anyone to do. Supposing now that you come into Cashel for a week's holiday, where would you go? What would you do? I mean, people can't keep looking at the bloody rock. So they had glorious pile of ruins.
Can I just ask you about when you got married? What age were you when you got married? 'Cause
21 and a half. If I had my time back again, I'd have waited another 10 years.
Tell me about your children. Did you have any children?
I had 3 children, 2 girls and a boy.
What were their names?
My oldest boy was John, my boy was John, and Beryl and Angela, the 2 girls. Bill is in Cyprus. Angela is in Ireland. And unfortunately, my beloved son is dead. He died suddenly.
Okay, very sad.
And I was heartbroken. And I am.
Still, yeah.
Because his dad died. And then there was only myself.
Mm.
I had nobody to do anything for me.
Yeah.
You know, my son, and he was marvellous. And we went off out around by the place I was born and reared. And we went into the graveyard to my father's grave and chatting away all the time. He died the following Friday.
Oh, goodness.
And I couldn't even stand at the graveside. I had to walk away.
This video will be made available for future generations to see what Cashel was like for a child and young adult during the 1940s and 1950s and beyond. Do you have any final words for the viewers?
I joined the ICA when I was 16. I remember there was a lady that lived across the road from us. Sorry. She was old. Well, it could be so years older than me. And she was coming in they were starting the ICA, you know, to set it up. And she came in and she asked my father, could I go with her? You know, she wanted company on the bicycle. And sure, I needn't tell you, I was only too delighted to get away. And I came in and I was one of the founder members of the Cashel ICA in 1942. And I'm still a member.
And what do they do there, Chris?
They showed us how to cook in hay boxes, and you know, we did all that kind of thing. And we did a lot of knitting and crochet, and the usual.
Useful skills.
Yes,
Yeah.
the usual skills. But when I was going to school, I was always knitting. And I used to do crochet as well. That's why I know nothing now, because I was always knitting instead of learning. Because the teacher, Mrs. Keegan, she had twin boys. And I was always knitting stockings for them.
Oh, yeah.
She was forgetting me to knit the stockings in school.
Did she pay you for them?
No,
No.
she bought the wool.
Just, yeah, good knitter, off you go there.
And I had a knitting machine, and I loved it. I remember in the convent here in Cashel, I used to make school jumpers because we did out the nuns to great things they did. The children's jumpers going to the convent was a kind of an orange colour. And you couldn't buy it in any shop. You couldn't get that colour.
Okay.
Wasn't it a stupid thing?
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know, and signers on, people were coming to me in droves to make jumpers for them. And I used to get the wool and make the jumpers. And what it would cost for the wool and the jumper would be £3.
Wow. There's a good bit of work in it, though, isn't there? In
There was
the
a
time,
good bit
you
of
know.
work in it.
Which nuns were here? That's at the time. Was that in the convent here?
Yeah, presentation.
Yeah. Presentation sisters, yeah.
Yeah. So isn't it funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way things turn out.